Hello students, today we are going to discuss new short notes from anatomy paper first, question number 2, short notes from the brain, out of which the cerebrospinal fluid is very frequently asked question from anatomy paper first. Before starting with the cerebrospinal fluid, you should know something regarding with the meninges of the brain. The nature has made a well protection of the central nervous system, that is of the brain, in the cranium. So scalp is there, cranium is there, and under cover of the cranium there are coverings of the brain. They are called as a meninges. The brain is very important but delicate organ. It is protected from the following coverings. First of all, the scalp, then the bony covering of the cranium, the membranes of the covering, they are called as a meninges. There are three meninges of the brain that covers the brain: dura mater, arachnoid mater, and pia mater from outside inward. So the cerebrospinal fluid, in the interior of the brain there are some empty spaces. These empty spaces are occupied by a fluid. It's called as a cerebrospinal fluid. This CSF or a cerebrospinal fluid is important for the protection point of view, for nutritive point of view. The main important protection and nutrition, and the venous drainage. So all the three roles it plays. The nervous system do not have lymphatics. As all of you know that every part of our body, everywhere there are lymphatics, which is not carried over via veins, it's carried over via lymphatics. But this nervous system is devoid of any lymphatics, so it is replaced by the cerebrospinal fluid. Whole of the brain, in the subarachnoid space there is a cerebrospinal fluid. It covers the spinal cord, and also it is in the interior of the brain. The interior of the brain, the empty spaces are called as a ventricles. They are empty spaces filled up by the cerebrospinal fluid. So the membranous covering, that is the outer dura mater, middle arachnoid mater, and inner pia mater. Arachnoid and pia mater is togetherly called as a leptomeninges. The cerebrospinal fluid fills up the space between the arachnoid and pia mater. Is also called as a subarachnoid space, and acts as a water cushion or protection to the brain. Now first of all, the dura mater, we'll think something regarding with these three matters. These are three coverings: dura mater, arachnoid mater, and pia mater. In between the arachnoid mater and pia mater there is a fluid that is formed in the fourth ventricle. That fluid is important for many purposes, and it is a replacement for the lymphatics. Dura mater, cerebral dura mater has been studied in detail. However, it may be it is made up by two layers. The first one is a endostecial layer, and the inner meningeal layer enclosing the cranial venous sinuses between the two. The meningeal layer forms the folds which divides the cranial cavity into intercommunicating compartments for different parts of the brain. Secondly, the arachnoid matter, the inner matter. Arachnoid matter is a thin, transparent membrane that loosely surrounds the brain without dipping it in the sulci. It bridges all irregularities of the brain with exception of a longitudinal fissure and the stem of the lateral sulcus. It cannot identified in the hypophyseal fossa, that is pituitary fossa. Relations. It is separated from dura mater by subdural space and from pia mater by subarachnoid space containing CSF. Then the prolongation. It provides sheaths for the cranial nerves as far as to exit from the skull. Arachnoid villi are small, finger-like processes of arachnoid tissue projecting into the cranial venous sinuses. They absorb cerebrospinal fluid. With advancing age of the arachnoid villi enlarge the size to form the pedunculated tufts called as arachnoid granulations. These granulations may produce depression of the bone. Now the pia mater, the innermost matter or the layer of the meninges. The pia mater is a thin vascular membrane which closely invests the brain, dipping into various sulci and irregularities of the surface. It is better defined around the brainstem. Prolongation. It provides sheaths for the cranial nerves merging with the epineurium around them. It also provides the perivascular sheaths for the minute vessels entering and leaving the brain substance. Folds of pia mater enclosing tufts of capillaries is called as a choroid fluxuses from the tela choroidea. The extradural or epidural and subdural spaces. These spaces, extradural and subdural spaces, they are in other words, they extradural and subdural spaces. They are around the dura mater. Around the dura mater, this extradural spaces, the subdural space. Subdural space is a capillary potential space between the dura mater and arachnoid mater containing thin film and serous fluid. The space permits movements for the dura over the arachnoid. The space is continued for a short distance on to the spinal nerve and is free communication with the limb spaces of the nerve. Then there are some subdural space. It lies in between the spinal dura mater and the periosteum and ligaments lining the vertebral canal. It contains loose areolar tissue, semi-liquid fat, spinal arteries on their way to supply the deeper contents and the internal vertebral venous fluxuses. The spinal arteries arise from the different sources at different levels. It enters the vertebral canal through the intervertebral foramen and supply the spinal cord and spinal nerves, roots and meninges, the periosteum and ligaments. Venous blood from the spinal cord drains into the epidural and internal vertebral plexuses. So this is about the subdural space and epidural space outside the dura mater and inside the dura mater and outside the arachnoid mater. So that is about the subdural and arachnoid space. Now the supraarachnoid space. This is the space supraarachnoid. The name itself suggests what is it. This is the space between the arachnoid and the pia mater. It is traversed by a network of arachnoid trabeculae which gives it a sponge-like appearance. It surrounds the brain and spinal cord and ends below at the lower border of the second sacral vertebra. The subarachnoid space contains CSF and large vessels of the brain. Cranial nerves pass through this space. Dilatations. As the base of the brain and around brainstem, the subarachnoid space forms intercommunicating pools called as a cisterns, which reinforce the protective effect of CSF on the vital center situated in the medulla. The subarachnoid cisterna are as follows. First one, the cerebellomedullary cistern, that is called as the cisterna magna, lies between the medulla and undersurface of the cerebellum. It is utilized for the cisternal puncture. The CSF passes from the fourth ventricle to the cistern through the median and lateral aperture of the fourth ventricle. The ponatal cistern, that is cisterna ponatis, contains the vertebral and the basilar arteries. Then interpedicular cistern, that is basal cistern, contains the circulus arteriosus, circle of Willis, that is the artery network or the blood supply at the base of the brain, and the cistern of the lateral sulcus contains the middle cerebral artery. Cistern of the great cerebral vein, that is cistern ambiens, contains the same vein. The cistern chiasmatis is below and front of the optic chiasma. Then arterial pulsations within the cistern help to force the CSF from the cistern onto the surface of the hemisphere. Cistern themselves form cushions around the medulla. Now the communication of these spaces. The subarachnoid space communicate with the ventricular system of the brain. The median foramen, that is the foramen of Magnidi, and two lateral foramen, that is they are called as a foramen of Luschka, situated in the roof of the fourth ventricle. The CSF passes through the foramina from the fourth ventricle to the subarachnoid space. Now the prolongation. The space prolonged into the subarachnoid sheaths around nerves, where it communicates with the neural lymphatics, particularly in the first, second and eighth cranial nerve. The space also extends into the pial sheaths around the vessels entering the brain substance, that is perivascular space. CSF come into direct contact with the nerve cells. So this is all about the coverings of the brain. Now there is a very special fluid in spite of the veins. The veins, lastly venous blood of the brain, lastly opens into the sinuses. There are no numerous veins to the brain. The venous blood opens into the venous sinuses of the brain. And even though the central nervous system do not have any lymphatics, lymphatics are replaced by cerebrospinal fluid, and that is continuously produced and again reabsorbed. Now we will see one by one. CSF is one of the important. You carefully listen. The cerebrospinal fluid, in short, is called as CSF. Sometime for the diagnosis, investigation of this cerebrospinal fluid is done at in between the third lumbar and fourth lumbar vertebra, in between two vertebrae, where there is a subarachnoid space extends till to that, to avoid injury for the technique. Then sometimes if there is any blockage in the lumbar, in the thoracic part of the spinal cord, the puncture is being done into the cervical spines to know any, very rarely that CSF is drained from there. That is also one of the puncture by the needle. Now first one, the definition. where it is formed, how much it is formed, what happens of it, absorption and important functions of the cerebrospinal fluid. There is a diagram that it is formed in the there are two lateral ventricles, there is a fourth ventricle, there is third ventricle, then fourth ventricle, and the ventricles continues downward as an empty space around the spinal cord, and it also covers the subarachnoid space. That is, also subarachnoid space is also empty. Ventricles are empty. Third ventricle is empty. Fourth ventricle is empty, and the subarachnoid space around the spinal cord is also empty, and it is filled up by this CSF. It is continuously produced. So, first of all, we'll see the introduction of the cerebrospinal fluid. In the introduction of the cerebrospinal fluid, it is a clear, colorless liquid composed of primarily water and protects the brain and spinal cord from the chemical and physical injuries. It also carries small amounts of oxygen, glucose and other needed chemicals from the blood to neurons and neuroglia. CSF continuously circulate through cavities of the brain and spinal cord and around the brain and spinal cord in the subarachnoid space, the space between the arachnoid matter and pia matter. Total volume of the CSF is 80 to 150 ml. Then in adult, CSF contains amounts of glucose, protein, lactic acid, urea, then the ions of the sodium, potassium, calcium and magnesium, and the aminos of the chlorine and SCO3. It also contains some of the white blood cells. The cavities of the fourth ventricle, there is one lateral ventricle on each. There is one lateral ventricle on each side of the cerebral hemisphere, which that is first and second. You may say right and left. The lateral ventricles are separated by thin membrane called as a septum pellucidum. That is pellucida. The third ventricle, narrow strike cavity along the midline superior to the hypothalamus and between the right and left walls of the thalamus. The fourth ventricle lies between the brainstem and the cerebellum. The majority of the CSF is formed where the formation of the cerebrospinal fluid takes place. एक कहाँ तैयार होता है, कहाँ बनता है? So CSF is produced in the choroid plexuses. It is formed in the choroid plexuses of the walls of the ventricles. Then the joint with the light junction cover the capillaries of the choroid plexuses. Selected substance, mostly water from the blood plasma, which is filtered from the capillaries, are secreted by the epidendral cells to produce the cerebrospinal fluid. The secretory capacity of the account of the continuous production of the CSF and its transport metabolism from the nervous tissue back to the blood. So CSF permits certain substances to enter the CSF but excludes other. That means CSF do not permit any substances to enter in it via blood circulation. So first of all, CSF is a modified tissue fluid. In other words, we can say the color is a little bit opaque. CSF it is not clearly little bit opaque. The CSF is a modified fluid. It contained in the ventricular system of the brain in the subarachnoid space around the brain and spinal cord. Then CSF, bulk of the CSF formed in the choroid plexuses. Choroid plexuses of the lateral ventricles and lesser amounts in the choroid plexuses of the third and fourth ventricle. So mostly it is produced in the lateral ventricles of the brain. Secondly, possibly, not surely, it is also formed in the capillaries on the surface of the brain and spinal cord. Thirdly, the total amount, एक दिन में कितना बनता है, the total amount of the CSF, एक आदमी में at a time कितना CSF हो सकता है, तो 120 से लेके 150 ml तक. The total amount of the CSF in at a time is 150 ml. At the rate of the 200 ml per hour, एक घंटे में 200 मिली और पूरे 24 घंटे में 5000 मिली मीन्स 5 लीटर CSF बनता है. नॉर्मल प्रेशर of the CSF is 60 to 10 millimeters of the CSF. That is the same millimeter mm of CSF or mm of water, you can say it is watery fluid. Now this CSF is formed in the lateral ventricle, partly in the third and fourth. In the choroid plexuses, keep in mind the word CSF is produced in the choroid plexuses of the lateral ventricle. बाद में उसका क्या होता है, कहा जाता है CSF. CSF passes from each lateral ventricle to the third ventricle. दोनों lateral ventricle से third ventricle में आता है. तो that place is called as a foramen of the Monro. That is interventricular foramen in between the lateral ventricle and third ventricle. Third ventricle से वो fourth ventricle में जाता है. That is it passes to the fourth ventricle through the cerebral aqueduct. Now it is reached in the fourth ventricle. Via fourth ventricle, it enters into the subarachnoid space in between the dura mater, in between the arachnoid matter and pia mater. In that space, it enters through the median and lateral apertures of the fourth ventricle. Fourth ventricle, lateral and median aperture से वो subarachnoid space में जाता है. That subarachnoid space covers the brain as well as spinal cord. तो पूरा brain में और spinal cord के subarachnoid space में that enters. Now it is continuously produced and continuously absorbed. So first one, CSF is absorbed chiefly through arachnoid villi and granulations and then drained into the cranial venous sinuses. Then it is also absorbed partly in the perineum, that is perineural lymphatics around the first, second and seventh, eighth cranial nerve. It is also absorbed in the veins related to the spinal nerve. The main important functions: definition, then the production, formation, absorption. Then that absorption we have seen, the absorption of the CSF. It circulates throughout. It circulates. CSF is formed in the choroid plexuses we have seen. It circulates around the brain and lastly it is absorbed. Now main important functions of the cerebrospinal fluid. It plays three basic functions. Firstly, mechanical protection. It is a protection made by the nature for the brain or a vital organ. Mechanical protection, CSF serves as a shock absorbing medium that protects the delicate tissues of the brain and spinal cord from the jolts that would otherwise cause them to hit the bony walls of the cranial cavity and vertebral canal. The fluid is also boils the brain so that the floats in the cranial cavity. Then the hemostatic function, the pH of the CSF affects the pulmonary ventilation and cerebral blood flow, which is important in maintaining hemostasis, controls the brain tissues. CSF also serves as a transport system for polypeptide hormones secreted by the hypothalamic neurons that acts as a remote sites in the brain. Third function, this is hemostatic function. Third is a circulatory function. CSF is a medium for the minor exchange of nutrients. Some nutrients are taken, some nutrients are given up. waste products between the, very rarely CSF absorb outside substances. Then that waste products between the blood and adjacent nervous tissue. So this is about the cerebrospinal fluid. Now that the diagnosis, especially diseases like meningitis, the CSF is taken as a sample for the lab investigation. That CSF by lumbar puncture, especially there may be inflammation of the brain or any other disease, infections to the brain may lead to the infection to the CSF, and investigation of the CSF fluid becomes an important issue for the diagnosis of the disease, especially by lumbar puncture or maybe the cisternal puncture, that is in the cervical region. If any blockage is there, spinal cord is very long, so if any blockage is there, then the diagnosis from the upper level of the cisternal level is being done for the diagnosis of some diseases. So rather than anatomy, this is more to be important in the clinical life or clinical practice. So you should not again revise. There are mainly two diagrams of the cerebrospinal fluid. You have to draw a diagram of the lateral ventricle, third ventricle, then the fourth ventricle, and show the spinal cord, the subarachnoid space of the spinal cord and subarachnoid space around the brain. So whole of the diagram, that is the main important diagram, and the aqueduct, where from it comes from the lateral ventricle to the third ventricle, and from the third ventricle to the fourth ventricle, and from the fourth ventricle how it enters into the subarachnoid space around the brain and around the spinal cord, and three important functions. The plan of study consists of the definition, then the formation, where it forms, then the circulation, how does it circulate, and absorption of the CSF, where it is absorbed, and what happens, इतना CSF तैयार होता है तो कहाँ जाता है, so it is absorbed, and what happens of it, so that is absorption, and three important functions, and applied anatomy. So applied anatomy consists of the cisternal puncture and lumbar puncture. Lumbar puncture I have told in between the third and fourth ventricle, and cisternal puncture, there may be a ventricular puncture very rarely through the cranial cavity. The ventricular puncture is being done. That is very rare and rare. Ventricular, directly the needle is being passed in the ventricles. So the lumbar puncture is the easiest method. Secondly, cisternal puncture. If some doubts are there, then the cisternal puncture is being done, and if any other obstruction in the circulation is there, very rarely the ventricular puncture is being done. Then if that fluid is taken, it is the biochemical analysis of that CSF is done for the diagnosis of the various constituents of the CSF. What happens in certain diseases? The constituents are altered in some diseases. Then the obstruction in the flow of the CSF, that leads to the hydrocephalus. See, the daily CSF is formed, but if it is not absorbed, what will happen? There will be large head, and there will be water in the around subarachnoid space, and that clinical condition is called as a hydrocephalus. इतना बड़ा सर हो जाता है, and especially in the children. And what is the clinical symptom? If continuously CSF is formed and there is no absorption, intracranial pressure will increase and it will produce headache, and the patient will unstable, and he will have a severe headache, increased intracranial pressure. These are some clinical important points regarding the cerebrospinal fluid. As a short note, you may draw 2 to 3 diagrams of the CSF, a separate diagram of the ventricles, and you may draw the diagram of the whole brain and spinal cord, and you may show in blue color where subarachnoid space on the spinal cord and ventricles. So 2 diagrams you may show and write 3 to 4 clinical anatomy points, that is lumbar puncture, cisternal puncture, ventricular puncture, CSF diagnosis investigation, then the hydrocephalus, then the intracranial pressure increase.